The world of e-commerce is absolutely exploding in 2025. Amazon's a trillion-dollar company, Shopify is over $100 billion company, and it's projected that this holiday season, worldwide e-commerce sellers are going to make over $5 trillion. But how do you get your piece of the pie? Because I get it, there's tons of business models out there for e-commerce, and as a complete beginner, you deserve to know the best business model to start your very own side hustle or business selling products online in 2025. Because I've been selling products online for over 10 years and could never quite crack the code and live off it until I found this little known side hustle that made me over $100,000 profit in my first 10 months. In this video, I'm going to give you the best beginner e-commerce guide on the internet and show you all the different e-commerce business models to help you get started making money online fast, even if you're a complete beginner starting from scratch, just looking for a side hustle while working your 9-to-5 job. So here's the deal. There's lots of different ways you can make money online with e-commerce. Some are flashy but risky, and others are proven and beginner friendly. After selling millions of dollars worth of products with multiple different business models, I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't for complete beginners. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 most common e-commerce business models you've probably heard of: Shopify dropshipping, Amazon private label, selling on Etsy, Amazon wholesale, and Amazon arbitrage. And to make this super practical, I'm going to be rating each of these on the 5 factors that matter most to e-commerce beginners. Number 1, startup capital and risk. How much money do you actually need to start it? Number 2, learning curve and complexity. How difficult or easy it is for a beginner to get started. Number 3, profit margins and cash flow speed. How much time or how little time it takes for the money to actually get back to you. Number 4, scalability and long-term business potential. How likely it is to actually have a long-term sustainable business. And number 5, competition and saturation. How much competition there is in a specific market and how much meat on the bone there actually is available for you as a beginner in 2025. And by the end, you'll know exactly which business model has the most potential to turn into a 6 or even 7-figure side hustle or business for you as a complete beginner looking to make money online. All right, let's start with probably the most hyped way out there to make money online: Shopify dropshipping. You've probably seen the ads or TikToks out there from young kids claiming to make $10K a day with Shopify dropshipping. But here's the reality behind it. Dropshipping is creating a Shopify website, finding a product from China, usually from a supplier overseas, and spending money on ads to send people to that website to eventually, hopefully, buy your product. You don't hold inventory, which sounds great, but this comes with some real challenges. So let's rate it across 5 factors, starting with startup cost. Dropshipping comes with low inventory costs up front because pretty much you only have to pay for the Shopify subscription. You don't actually spend money on the products until a customer actually places an order. What you do have to spend money on prior is the marketing and ads to actually get customers onto your website. And the problem is you don't know if they're actually going to buy the products. So overall, Shopify dropshipping doesn't take that much money to start, but the ads can be incredibly expensive and risky because you have no proof that these products actually sell. In terms of learning curve, Shopify dropshipping sounds really simple in practice, but there's a massive learning curve, especially around TikTok, Google, or YouTube ads to actually get customers onto your website to buy the products. And you have to do a bunch of copywriting and actually create a good website, which overall can be super complex for beginner entrepreneurs. This leads to the third one: profit margins, which can be incredibly thin after spending a bunch of money on ads, typically in the ballpark of only 5 to 10% if you're a complete beginner, which can be a ton of work for not a ton of payoff. Another issue that can really affect profit margins is refunds and returns on low quality products you're actually selling from China, which can really cut into margins as well. In terms of scalability, dropshipping is incredibly scalable, but it's very dependent on the specific niche you go after, because the problem with Shopify dropshipping is you can typically only choose one product at a time to test, and if you're on a small budget, it can be really tough to find that one winning product that really pays off for you and is very scalable. Competition with Shopify dropshipping is extremely saturated because there's really advanced ad tools and softwares that can show you exactly what products other people are selling. And if you're finding success with a product, we'll show your ads and your product to a ton of beginners that have a really, really low barrier to entry to get into it, because they can just copy their website and copy your ads and be spending money on the same ads you are very quick. So overall, I don't love Shopify dropshipping for beginners. It can work, but it's really tough to tell a beginner entrepreneur to make a website, which takes skill, spend a bunch of money on ads, which takes money and skill, and just figure out the business from scratch selling low quality products from China. So now you've seen the reality of dropshipping. Let's move on to another business model that has had a ton of buzz on the internet over the years. Amazon private label, aka buying an unbranded product from China and building a brand on Amazon. This is the strategy where you find a product that's already selling well, ship it over from China, and create a brand on Amazon into Amazon's warehouse where they handle the rest for you, all the picking, packing, and shipping to the customers. The big problem is you have to create demand for the product and you actually have to wait for it to get here from China. This is the business model that's created tons of YouTube gurus, but it also comes with tons of upfront risk that a lot of beginners don't see. So let's break it down going over the 5 factors, starting with startup cost. Startup costs for Amazon private label are astronomically high. Anyone telling you can start with a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 is completely lying to you. You need minimum 10 to 20K to build an actual brand on Amazon. Because not only do you have to spend money on the MOQ, minimum order quantity from your supplier, you also have to spend money to actually get it from China to the Amazon warehouse. And then once you actually pick a product, which is difficult to do, ship it over from China, which is very expensive to do, then you actually have to generate demand for that product on Amazon because customers aren't just going to buy a random unbranded product on Amazon. This leads to the next one, learning curve. There's a huge learning curve with Amazon private label because once you actually get the product over from China, you have to do copywriting, you have to create the listing, there's some legal stuff you have to go ahead and do, and then you actually have to convince people to buy your product, which is typically spending money on Amazon ads if you don't want to dance on TikTok and show your face, which if you're anything like me, that's probably why you got started with e-commerce in the first place, to do it faceless, working from home, not needing to show your face. So with high startup cost and a high learning curve, Amazon private label can be really difficult. But the nice thing about Amazon private label is if you're successful, you are going to tend to have pretty high profit margins, at least 15 to 20% if you're doing it right once you actually build your established listing. But typically you are going to have to go into the red at the start, spending money on Amazon ads to get traffic to your listing because at this point in 2025, there's already going to be people most likely selling that product that have been doing it and have reviews for years. In terms of scalability, the upside for an Amazon private label brand is incredibly high, but there's also a ton of risk because each market tends to really only have room for 1 or 2 category kings on the search terms for that product, which have tons of trust, the ones that show up correctly on Amazon is the first 1 or 2 options. In terms of competition and saturation, Amazon private label is incredibly cutthroat with tariff complications, competition potentially from your suppliers, people selling knockoffs on your listing, and it's incredibly competitive overall, probably the most competitive one on this list after Shopify dropshipping. So while Amazon private label is incredibly lucrative and it's also something I want to get into myself eventually, it's really tough for beginners to get started due to the massive competition and massive capital risk of the winner-take-all market. So private label is all about building your brand on Amazon, but what if you're more of a creative type? So that's where Etsy comes in. Etsy's exploded in popularity the past couple years for people that are more the artistic and creative type with the potential to sell handmade products really nice and simple on a market customers are already searching for with low fees. It's definitely different than Amazon private label and Shopify dropshipping, but also comes with its own set of pros and cons. Let's dig in, starting with startup cost. Startup costs on Etsy for handmade products or even digital products tend to be incredibly low. You really only need a couple $100 to get started. My brother's actually made some money over the years, even when he was a kid, selling his own handmade items on Etsy. The problem with this is there's a lot more time that goes into actually creating those handmade stuff, and you have to be artistic, and typically you're creating demand for stuff. There's not great ads or anything on Etsy, so people just kind of have to be searching for what you're looking to go ahead and do. And while there's really low startup capital and risk, the main risk you incur is the time actually creating these handmade products, and you're probably not an artistic type like me if you're looking to make money online from home without showing your face. In terms of learning curve, it honestly just comes down to personality type. It could be low if you already have some really artistic traits for yourself, or it could be incredibly high if you're new to branding, product design, and making listings. Not to mention you have to do a bunch of good photography as well, which is just not me. Profit margins on Etsy can be incredibly high because you're typically creating the products yourself, so you don't really have much actual cost of goods, with potential to see 30, 40, or even 50%. But the problem is, while profit margins can be high, you really have to rely on going viral, and if you do, it's going to be incredibly hard to keep up with demand. which comes down to scalability, which is often capped. I've never really seen many people be able to sell on Etsy full time, not even close to the amount I've been able to see that have been able to succeed with these other business models, especially the last one I'm going to show you guys. While handmade products on Etsy are a great opportunity, especially if it's something new to the market, Etsy can be very saturated for products like jewelry, planners, and arts and crafts. So Etsy is really the playground for creatives, people who want to build a business around their own design, branding, and creative items. So what if you're not the creative type and instead want to run a real e-commerce business like a B2B company? That's where Amazon Wholesale comes in. With Amazon Wholesale, you're not creating or making any products. You're just buying proven name brand products at wholesale prices from established manufacturers and distributors and selling them on Amazon for a profit. It's much more of a traditional business approach, but has its own pros and cons. Startup costs and risks for Amazon Wholesale for beginners are super high. Similar to private label, you typically need 10K plus, although you might be able to get away with 5K plus starting with Amazon Wholesale. And in terms of risk, the big problem is similar to private label, suppliers typically have really high MOQs, aka minimum order quantities. So each item you typically have to put 4 figures into upfront after you spend a bunch of time in the learning curve where you're probably going to have to do a lot of cold calling and cold emailing just to find a lot of suppliers that don't actually sell to Amazon e-commerce sellers. The learning curve is going to consist of a lot of cold calling, negotiating accounts, and running products through different softwares to see if they're actually good. The profit margins, while lower than Amazon private label, typically you'll aim for around 10% or so with Amazon Wholesale. They can be very predictable and they really scale nicely. There's a lot of scale with Amazon Wholesale. While there's a lot of scalability with wholesale, it does also require tons of cash reserves to actually build the business. The competition's super high, especially if you're a beginner, because it's going to be tough to compete for the buy box on Amazon when you're selling against people that have already been selling those products for literally years and have hundreds, if not thousands of reviews. So now we've covered Amazon Wholesale, more of a traditional business, which can totally make sense for you if you have B2B sales experience and tons of capital up front. But what if you want the best of both worlds? Low startup cost, easy to scale, and you don't want to reinvent the wheel. That's where Amazon arbitrage comes into play. Buying discounted name brand products from big retail websites or stores like Walmart, Target, and Kohl's. This is exactly what made me over $100,000 profit my first year without running any ads, creating any products, showing my face, or buying stuff from China. So let's run it through the 5 factors to show you why I think it ranks above the others. In terms of startup capital, while the other Amazon business models, wholesale and private label, are going to require a minimum of $5, if not $10,000 to get started, Amazon arbitrage really only needs 1 to 2K to get started. And the reasoning on this, guys, is because there's not a big learning curve. We don't have to spend any money on ads. We don't have to wait for the products to actually get here from China. We don't have to create the demand for our listings. All we're doing is finding profitable products that we can purchase in small quantities and then eventually bigger quantities as we scale up our business from big suppliers like Kohl's, Walmart, and Target. Amazon trusts these suppliers because they're obviously big retailers, literally billions, if not multi-billion-dollar companies. The learning curve is learnable in days using tools like SellerAmp and Keepa for product research and Boxum to actually manage your business. Where the expertise comes in is in finding the different deals. The nice thing is the holiday season's coming quick, so now's the best time to get started as well, and there's more profitable products than ever at any other point in the year. In terms of profit margins, you should aim for between a 10 and 20% profit margins, but what I really love to take a look at with Amazon arbitrage is the return on investment, which you should always shoot for between 30 to 40%, if not more, on specific products. And I made tons of money during the holiday season selling products with way higher ROIs thanks to the increased demand, decreased competition, and increased prices as a result of both of those. In terms of scalability, it's easy to grow an arbitrage business, especially because you can hire contractors in the Philippines to find the products for you and a third-party warehouse, otherwise known as a prep center, to do all your shipping for you. In terms of competition, it's actually really low for online arbitrage, and especially because you have the choice over what different products you sell. Personally, I sell dozens of different products. A lot of big sellers maybe even get in the hundreds of different products as they scale up their business, so you don't have the risk of one specific listing getting saturated. You also get to leverage Amazon's existing demand. Most people don't know that 60% of products sold on Amazon actually come from everyday people like you and I, third-party sellers, and the brand power of brands that have already been around for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if not even more, that customers are already searching for on Amazon. And we just sell on listings after getting Amazon's approval, which is super easy to go ahead and do. I'm going to show you guys how to do it, that are already getting lots of sales that we just get to share the buy box and rotate with other sellers on those listings. And I'm going to show you guys how to find gold mine listings with really low competition. And that's why online arbitrage is the perfect online business for beginners who want to get started without showing their face, that don't have tons of skills and tons of capital. And the crazy thing is, I've helped 100+ people quit their 9-to-5 jobs with this business model over the years. We'll pop a whole bunch of them up on screen, and specific examples like Phil, a military vet who's selling 6 figures a month in his Amazon business after starting just 8 months ago. And Brian, who's working his 9-to-5 currently still while selling 50 grand a month with Amazon online and retail arbitrage. And Bailey, a former insurance salesman who's now selling over 50 grand a month on Amazon, who's scaling his business super, super quick. Right here is him sending out a shipment that's going to make him over $18,000 in profit. And can I guarantee results like this? Of course not. But what I can show you is my 4-step plug and play system to start your very own online arbitrage business this week. To make money with the most beginner-friendly e-commerce business model, where you don't have to run any ads, show your face, buy stuff from China, anything like that. And the holiday season's coming fast, guys. Now's the perfect time to get started selling and profitable, so you're fully ready to execute on that. And if you want personalized one-on-one hand-holding directly from me, take a look down below at the link in the description for my coaching program application. Let's dig into the 4-step plug-and-play system to start your Amazon arbitrage business from scratch this week. Step number 1, guys, is going to be setting up your Amazon seller account and knowing the budget you actually need. You're going to break that down step by step. Step number 2 is going to be getting approval, aka ungating, for these big brands and categories on Amazon. And I'm also going to give you guys a big list of auto ungate approval products that'll get you approved without even submitting invoice and documentation. Step number 3, guys, is going to be finding your first couple winning products. A lot of beginners really overcomplicate the product research process and don't just keep it simple using SellerAmp and Keepa. Going to walk you guys through that entire process. And step number 4 is going to be creating your first shipment. Let's dig into step number 1, guys, actually setting your Amazon seller account up and what budget you actually need. So step number 1, guys, is going to be just going to sellercentral.amazon.com to actually create your Amazon seller account. A lot of people think you need an LLC to get started. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know your personal situation. Amazon doesn't formally require it. So just go to sellercentral.amazon.com and hit sign up right here to create a professional seller account. You can see more than 70% of Amazon sellers generate their first sales in less than 6 days. I want to make sure all you guys watching this video get your first sales significantly quicker. So go to sellercentral.amazon.com and sign up for a professional seller account. This literally gives you access to sell to hundreds of millions of prime customers once they approve your account in a couple days. In terms of the budget you need to get started, like I said earlier, you really only need $1 to $2K to get started. A couple basic pieces of software after your professional Amazon seller account. You're just going to need SellerAmp, which is for product research. It's going to calculate the exact profit on each product and tell you how fast it sells after shipping, fees, sales tax, literally everything. Because obviously there's fees required with Amazon's platform, and SellerAmp's going to do all the heavy lifting for you on that. You're also going to need the Keepa Chrome extension, which is $20 per month as well. That's going to show the supply, demand, and price history on each product over time. And then for the back end of your business, you're going to need the Boxum shipment software, which is $50 per month as well, which is going to help with all your listing, shipping, analytics, knowing your numbers, and has a special trained AI tool to answer all your Amazon FBA questions for you right there. And you just need the rest for inventory right there. So 1 to 2K, like I said, nice and easy to get started, nice, small, and low risk. When we find different products, typically we want to test out between 5 and 10 each of them, eventually scaling up those quantities over time. But that's the beauty of Amazon arbitrage. Online arbitrage, buying discounted name brand products from big retail websites, and retail arbitrage, buying products in store. It's the same software and it's the same low risk model where we sell little quantities of lots of different products and then eventually scale up those quantities over time. Now that you guys know the budget you need to get started and how to create your Amazon seller account, we also need to talk about the ungating process, which is basically where Amazon wants to avoid fake products being sold on their platform. So for certain big brands and categories like toys, grocery, Gap, Walmart owned brands, and just big brands that are often faked on Amazon, Amazon wants to make sure the products you're selling on their platform are actually legit. Now, that used to be hard back when I was getting started, but luckily, these days it's easy to get approvals using order confirmations and invoices from big websites like Kohl's, Walmart, and Target, and always as well on the big brand websites. So, say we want to get ungated in a big brand like Jockey, for example. All I have to do is go on Target here and search Jockey t-shirts or something basic like that. You can get ungated from all big websites and all brand websites as well. So we could use jockey.com too. We could use Kohl's as well. And then we just need to find a product here like these 3-pack t-shirts right here. Go ahead and copy this and search it over on Amazon to see if this listing is actually carried on Amazon right here. These 3-pack V-neck t-shirts, which you need to see, boom. Okay, so this one has a bonus, but regardless, we could go ahead and find the exact one that matches this right here. I think it was right there. And then, so all we need to do is buy 10 of these from either Target, the brand website, or another big supplier. And then instantly we can download the order confirmation email we get from Amazon and submit that off to Amazon for approval. Now, typically, it's just an automated system. You're going to get declined between 10 and 15 times per brand. That's normal. Expect it. Don't let it deter you. I'm telling you it's going to happen. Don't look at the reasoning Amazon gives in those denial emails. Just understand that getting denied for ungates is completely a part of the game. It happens to everyone. It should be expected. And just keep submitting that order confirmation email downloaded as a PDF. You can title it something professional like ASIN _ invoice _ date. And then as you submit the order confirmation email a couple times, eventually you're going to add in the shipping email, the delivery email, a picture of the product, maybe show the credit card statement as well. And just add in more information from that supply chain as you actually get it to show to Amazon that you're submitting legit documentation bought from a legit supplier, and just expect to get denied sometimes. Keep submitting the same thing. You'll get approved. Add more information to the file as well. Don't worry about what they say in those denials. And this is completely possible as a new seller with no sales history. And the nice thing is there's also lots of small brands that'll automatically approve you even as a complete beginner. Let's dig into a list of them. So here I have the big auto ungate list for 2025. I've hidden the ASIN numbers from here, but you can go ahead and download this completely free at the link in the description. All you need to do is look up any listing in these brands. Obviously, there's a big list of ASINs right here. You can just go ahead and use, and then just go to add product on Amazon Seller Central. After you've created your account, paste in the ASIN number, and then make sure to hit request approval and apply to sell. You'll be surprised how many of these work for you even as a complete beginner. This list is not 100% perfect. A lot of them will remain gated, but once you've sold like 2K-ish on Amazon, a lot of listings become auto ungate as well. A lot more listings become auto ungate too. And you can go ahead and pull a couple easy quick wins here like Stafford, Danner, Cuddle Duds, Athletic Works. Look up any listings in these brands. Go ahead and plug in the ASIN on Amazon Seller Central. And after you hit request approval and apply to sell, it's going to go ahead and just ask for the quantity and the price, which means it's an auto ungate. But say you plug in something like Crocs as a complete beginner, most likely it's going to ask for documentations, meaning it's a gated brand. Now, don't worry about getting ungated in anything you haven't found profitably, but when you do start finding profitable products using the sourcing methods I'm about to show you guys, then for each brand, you only have to do each brand once. You're going to want to buy 10 of that from the big retail website or the brand website and submit that documentation off to Amazon to get approved. Let's talk about step number 3, finding your first couple winning products. This is where all our money's made. I'm going to show you guys how to analyze products using SellerAmp and Keepa and find your first couple winning products as well. So here inside my Google Chrome browser, guys, this is where we're going to be doing online arbitrage product research and where you want to plug in SellerAmp to your Google Chrome browser as well as Keepa to your Google Chrome browser here as well. So taking a look at these boxers here, we can see these boxers, this 5-pack here. It says 4-pack in the title. We can see it's 5-pack right there. Taking a look at the picture is going for $38 on Amazon. And then over on Target, it's going for $20. So there's probably some profit margin there. Buying for 20, selling for 38 on Amazon. But obviously there's shipping, there's fees, there's sales tax, there's a bunch of these additional costs here. That's where SellerAmp comes into play. SellerAmp comes huge for automatically calculating all that stuff right here. So if we go ahead and plug in $20 on the SellerAmp calculator right here, we can see the profit screen. It's going to automatically show its screen if it's over $3. That's the minimum profit per unit we want to take a look at. But the ROI is 20%, which is not quite good enough. But if I take a look over here on cardbear.com, which is a really good tip to lower buy cost and create more winning products, I can go ahead and get another 8% off on this purchasing a discounted gift card. So say I buy a $100 discounted gift card for 92 bucks. I just saved 8%. And now I have that gift card that I can check out with on that retailer to save a discount right here. So if I plug in 20 bucks, now I can take off 8% from this. And now the system becomes $5.60 profit and a 31% ROI and checks out right here. But how do you tell how fast the listing actually sells? And that's where BSR, aka sales rank, comes into play, which shows how fast the listing actually sells. Because it would suck to buy a bunch of products that don't have proven demand. With online arbitrage, you only want to be buying proven listings that have already sold well for years. So we can take a look at these guys and see it's a 114K rank here. You just want to make sure you're staying below a 200K rank for the most part and above 30 estimated sales per month. So seller amp here, we can see is green. This meets our BSR criteria. The profit meets our minimum profit criteria, and the ROI meets our minimum ROI criteria right here. So if you're, taking notes at home, just write down under a 200K rank to make sure it actually sells, $3 plus profit per unit, and a 30% plus return on investment. Seller amp shows us if a listing's profitable today, and then the Keepa Chrome extension shows if a listing has actually been profitable over time. So when you initially get Keepa, it's going to show, it's a European company, so it's going to charge you in euros, just a little pro tip there, but it's going to show these 3 different charts here. I'd personally recommend clicking sub ranks right here in the top right to only show the bottom and the chop charts right here. The great thing about Keepa is it shows how well a product sold on Amazon ever since it was added to Amazon's platform. So we can see right here, this product's been around like 434 days. But when you're a beginner, you're really only buying 5 to 10 different items. You want to just take a look at the 3-month data right here. And then we just need to make sure the bottom chart, otherwise known as the competition, the new offer count, isn't shooting up. This one's really nice and steady. The past month or so here, the competition's been nice and steady. And then the price here as well, we just need to make sure the price isn't shooting down. We can see it's nice and steady here as well, which is that pink buy box line there as well. And now, actually finding your first couple winning products, this is where tons of beginner sellers go wrong. They think they need complicated and expensive software like automated stuff that's going to find leads for you, or that they need to hire a team of virtual assistants. Do that down the line. You can't do it if you can't train them as a complete beginner. Or they think they should do manual sourcing, looking manually on Target.com, on HomeDepot.com, and Walmart.com, looking through their sales sections. Don't do any of that. What makes the most sense, guys, is using what's called the storefront stalking method, looking inside the storefronts of other Amazon sellers to see all their fastest selling winning products here. So let's go ahead and actually do that from this listing to find a few more winning products. So if we scroll down here, we can take a look at all the different sellers that actually carry this product. And I want to take a look inside the storefronts of people that I know are making lots of profit, aka that have 25 plus views. Luckily, on arbitrage listings, you don't have to worry about competing for buy box with people who have tens of thousands of reviews. So it's pretty much a fair game in terms of actually getting the buy box on arbitrage listings. Wholesale listings, it's not the case whatsoever here. But taking a look, we can see, okay, we just want to take a look at the people that we know have lots of profits, so like 25 plus views here. So we can see, taking a look here, yeah, 207 on this here, right? We can see, yeah, 600 reviews right there. 8, not going to worry about them. 114 here, going to take a look at that here. And now, pretty quickly, we can go ahead and see all the different brands these sellers carry and all the different categories these sellers carry. And then we can go ahead and take a look at all their fastest selling winning products here as well, so we can see all the stuff they're selling that we know other folks are making money on. So for example, this seller's got a bunch of Yankee Candle and a bunch of Squishmallow here. Now, certain big brands like Under Armour, Nike, and Lego are currently what's called hard gated, where new sellers can't sell them. It's been that way for like a year and a half though. So you just want to focus on listings you can already see making money in other people's storefronts here. So say we want to take a look at like Carter's listings right here. So for example, let's see 110K rank. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look. 150K rank. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look. And the nice thing is we can see literally in this seller storefront, hundreds of listings we already know are selling well. And all we have to do to get started with our online arbitrage side hustle is find a couple of them actually profitable right here. So we can take a look. Yeah, 47K rank. Let's take a look at that here, right? We take a look at like Carter's listings too. Let's see, yeah, 144K rank. Let's take a look at that. 109K rank. Let's take a look at that. And we can literally copy and paste what these sellers are already doing to make money here and look inside their storefronts and see the listings we know they're making money on. Brands we can see like Nautica, 34 listings, Columbia, 26 listings. All we have to do is find a couple of these to get the ball rolling with our online arbitrage side. I'll say we want to take a look at like Jelly Cow right here as well. You can see 300K rank, probably a little bit high, but it looks like a very new listing with only 2 reviews here. Not a ton of history. Yeah, the sales rank's totally trending down on this, so it's probably going to be good soon. So we can take a look at that. 50 plus estimated sales per month is good too. 266 right there as well. So now, literally, you guys can go ahead and copy and paste this, open up these listings and storefront stock from here. Fruit of the Loom, for example, I know comes from Walmart. Time and True, I know comes from Walmart. Cuddle Duds, I found some good Cuddle Duds listings on Walmart here, and you can literally see these listings we already know people are making money on to take a look at what they're selling and go find other stuff from here too. So for example, like these bog bags here at 38, we can see there's a bunch of different colors and sizes on this product. So what I actually want to do in this case is scroll down here and hit what's called the variations tab on Keepa. And then I want to go ahead and filter top to bottom by buy box price to see the most expensive variations. And then I want to find the variations that are expensive but sell really well, which comes from the new offer count history right here. This is something I do with my coaching students right when they join, is actually verify this stuff and just make sure their settings are set up correctly right here. So for example, you can see like this one's nicely trending down right here. It's a little bit blocky and slow selling here. I want to see people selling out and restocking here, but 53 right here. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we can see 59 on these guys right here. We can see competition's trending down, price is trending up right here. And then all we need to do is go and hit this button on SellerAmp to search product title on Google and see where this is actually carried. So let's see, that's a different green right there. I'm not seeing anything that matches these guys, but the pink ones right here, glowing pink bubbles here. Okay. So we would need to make sure the site's actually legit. The way you tell if sites are legit is to look up their Google reviews and their Trustpilot reviews here. We can see $24 on these. This would actually be profitable here, but it's only 15 sales per month, and the competition is a little bit blocky, not really super slow selling here. And this listing's out of stock, so this is unfortunately not something that works today. It would be a maybe if it were in stock because the margin is actually good. But taking a look at the Keepa chart, I don't see much movement here. It's pretty slow selling, so not going to worry about those guys here. Let's see, taking a look at these guys, 24. Now, this listing looks nice, right? It's nicely trending along nice and steady here. So let's go ahead and look this up on Google, and we can see, okay, we got a couple options that are in stock here. So Dick's Sporting Goods here at 15, going on here on SellerAmp. So let's plug in $15 on this product right here. We can see $15 into 25, $1 profit and a 10% ROI right here. So probably not good, but this is where a lot of the magic comes in with online arbitrage of making listings more profitable right here. So if I go ahead and scroll down on this item, I can see most websites have some sort of coupon code or discounted gift card that I can make these listings more profitable with. So for example, 20 off 100 plus, I can just use an email right here. The cool thing is I can literally just plug in, say my email is socialmiles@gmail.com. I can just put in a period at a different place each time, and it considers it a new email, but sends it the same one. That's how you use those coupons again and again. So now I get $20 off a purchase of 100 plus. Shipping from the retailer to you is pretty much always free. And then shipping from you to Amazon, I'll show you guys how to use that shipment process here in a couple minutes, is already factored in on the SellerAmp calculator, as well as the Amazon fees, all the shipping, sales tax, that kind of stuff. So for example, say we do like a cart of 7 of these, right? We can literally do math within SellerAmp here. Then we take off $20 from this, go ahead and divide by 7. Now the system becomes a nice profitable product. And I can take a look here on Cardbear and see if there's any discounted gift cards as well. Dick's Sporting Goods, there's 10% discounted gift cards right here as well. So now I can take off another 10% from this, and we can see $5.60 profit and a 51% ROI. This listing is good, even though that last listing wasn't good. That's the name of the game here. And I can take a look and see if there's any other variations of this product that also work too. That's a nice example of winning product you get ungated using Dick's Sporting Goods and all big websites. While I wouldn't recommend, copying listings you see in this, I would recommend getting started here, storefront stalking, to find your first couple winning products from here as well. And when you find a winning product, you typically want to grab 10 if it's a gated item to get ungated. And then once that brand, because remember, you only got to do each brand once, becomes ungated for you, then you can just test 5 to 10 units of each product, depending on how confident you are. So we can see that's a nice example of a winning item here. Let's see, these guys are 30. Let's see, so this does not look good, really stable right there, so I don't like this. We'll take a look at the variations tab on Keepa and see if there's anything with better movement here. Nah, not really liking those guys, really blocky. No, thank you. Let's take a look at these guys. These look nice. Look at that. Competition's trending down. Price is trending up right here. Let's go ahead and Google these here as well. So let's see. Okay, 20. right here. Those don't look good. Are there any other colors on this as well? Doesn't look like it here. Okay. So I don't like those guys here. Let's see, taking a look at these guys. Let's go down to variations and look for good offer count movement here. We can see, yeah, that looks good right there. 39. That looks good right here. So we can see $40 right here. Then we just want to go ahead and look this up on Google right here. And we can see, yeah, $18 right here. Let's see. I think these check out or check to see which is the right one here. And that's the nice thing is like no one ever looks at your Amazon store on Amazon.com. Literally just look at the listings you're selling and buy who's ever in the buy box right here. So for example, those don't match. Let's see, is there any ones that do here? Aha, yes, here we go. Sometimes you got to dig around a little bit on the website here. So we can see these are $18. So plugging in $18 right here. We can see $10 profit, 56% ROI right here. We can see they got the 14 one right there. And we can go ahead and take a look on Cardbear and see if there's any good discounted gift cards for carders. 8% right here. So we can go ahead and take off 8% from this as well. So we take off 8% from this. Sometimes the gift card suppliers will be a little bit lower there, but we can see $11 profit for every sale, 177 estimated sales per month across all variations here. This listing's been profitable over time. Even if this goes down to 36, this is still good here. And now you guys can literally go ahead and find other winning procs from here, just taking a look at all these other listings. 54 here, we can see listing was literally out of stock for a while. As of the past month here, the sales rank started to go down. It started to get in stock here. Competition's trended up a bit here, but price is largely really steady here. It has the private label alert on SellerAmp. That just shows automatically due to low competition on that specific product here. And now what we need to do is Google this product here. And typically, most products really only come from one place, and you just have to figure out how to make the numbers work on those. So in C, $28 right here, plugging in 28 right here. When C, $14 profit, 53% ROI. Not bad whatsoever there. And this is an example of a rare case of a product that's profitable with no discounts or coupon codes or discounted gift cards or anything like that. Typically, you don't find winning products. You make winning products using the different discounts you saw, like gift cards, coupons, holiday sales coming up. We got October Prime Day, Halloween sales, early Black Friday sales coming up as well, and then Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the Q4 sales rush. That's why it's so important to get started with this stuff now so you can take advantage of the holiday season. That's the name of the game with product research. So all you need to get going with product research, guys, is SellerAmp and Keepa. Then once you have some winning products, and even from day one, just managing your business setup correctly, that's where the Boxum shipment software comes into play. So for step number 4, actually creating your first shipments, that's where Boxum comes into play, which handles all your listing, shipping, analytics for your business, as well as the trained AI algorithm for Amazon sellers that's going to answer all your questions. Imagine it just like ChatGPT, but completely trained for Amazon sellers off a ton of my content and everything in there. So the Boxy AI is really helpful. Boxum costs $50 per month, but you can try it out for 2 weeks on Boxum.com as well. Then you can see once you have some products, and take a look on my channel for a full shipment tutorial as well right here. But Boxum's going to make the shipment process really easy for you guys. A lot of beginners get really caught up in that. It's going to show you how to buy shipping, where to send it to, the whole labeling process and everything like that. It completely replaces Amazon Seller Central on the listing and shipping side of things, gives you significantly better reporting as well. So you can manage your whole Amazon business using Boxum for the listing, shipping, analytics, and now using the Boxy AI feature too, which has usage included free in all Boxum plans. I'd recommend honestly getting the professional Boxum plan from day one so you can use the 2D barcodes and some of the advanced features and early look features as well. So take a look at that on our website, Boxum.com, if you're interested. So now you guys know all the different e-commerce business model options, and you've seen why I think online arbitrage makes the most sense for beginners, just because you don't got to show your face, run any ads, create any procs. You don't need a ton of money to actually go ahead and start or any experience. I just think online arbitrage makes the most sense for beginners. If you guys have any questions about that, make sure to let me know down below in the comments as well. So with the holiday season coming fast, now's the time to get going with your Amazon business, and you have a choice. You can get started with what you saw today, or if you're interested in personalized one-on-one help directly from me, take a look down below at the link in the description for my coaching program application. The program that's helped my guy Paolo right here make 6 figures profit each year the past couple years while being a busy dad working his 9-to-5 job, or my boy Nick right here a dad of two, actually quit his 9 to 5 job to sell on Amazon full time. And my guy Aaron right here sell $1.5 million in just his first year on Amazon and quit his 9 to 5 to travel the world, running his Amazon business remotely using what's called a prep center. And Bola, a mother of two right here, sells 70 grand in just her 4th month selling Amazon, a busy mom of two. And Kamara right here, a busy college student, built a 20K a month Amazon business in only 90 days using my mentorship program. I'll even show you a couple wins members of our community are literally having right here this week. We'll pop a whole bunch of them up right here, literally that are going on this week, getting prepared for the holiday season. And we're not even at the peak yet. Now's the time to get going with the stuff. So if you're interested, take a look at that down below at the link in the description. I am very serious about who we take. That's why it's by application and screening call only. I only want super serious people in my mentorship program so we can keep the quality high. Inside it, you're going to get a one-on-one Zoom call with me to live source products together. You're going to get my personal phone number, so you have full one-on-one access to me. We have 3 group coaching calls a week. I'm going to plug you in on all my favorite coupons, tips, tricks, and strategies, help you get ungated, help you get going, check all your leads for you, plug you in on tons of deals, the whole 9 yards, steps A to Z to grow your Amazon business the right way, and eventually delegate it and scale using prep centers and virtual assistants as well. So if you're interested, take a look at that down below at the link in the description. I am going to be raising the price soon with the holidays coming fast, so make sure you go ahead and apply if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.